Etsy updated their GPSR notes, and it's not really good enough, but let's go through. Now, if this is your first time, the GPSR is the General Product Safety Regulations for anyone shipping to or living in the EU. Well, anyone shipping to the EU, whether or not you live there. This has been causing a whole lot of issues, and if you haven't caught up on it, I've got a whole load of videos I did at the tail end of last year covering a lot of this. So let's look into what Etsy, because sorry I'm a little late with this, because Etsy updated this the 23rd of December. Yeah, just when people are not looking at their Etsy shop. So let's have a look at what they have updated. We continue to await compliance guidelines for small and medium businesses and micro enterprises, as do I. The European Commission has published a whole load of documents, Q&As, and all sorts of things to help, but these are mainly covering big businesses. We want to know what's happening for little guys like ourselves. So yeah, hopefully there's going to be some more details on that soon. I will keep you posted as soon as I see that. So, this is what Etsy's done, and I'll explain why it's not good enough. So, in the meantime, our goal is to make it easy for you to comply with GPSR on Etsy. Based on the latest guidelines available, we considered several product solutions. The solutions we're implementing aims to provide sellers with a timely, straightforward way to restrict sales into the European Union and Northern Ireland. Because this is the thing, if you can't be compliant, and it's really hard to understand what we really need to do to be compliant, then you have to not have your items made available for sale to the EU and Northern Ireland. Now, these regulations came into place on the 13th of December, so they are already in place. So we need a solution the 13th of December. So where Etsy's saying we're aiming to help sellers with a timely method, the time's gone. Anyway, they're doing something, but other eBay, Amazon have definitely been ahead of the curve. But so Etsy saying at the end of February 2025, we'll begin rolling out shop level settings in the shop manager that will easily allow you to opt out of selling your items to both EU and Northern Ireland. This update will apply to all items in your shop, inclusive of both physical and digital items, which is fantastic. It's been very complicated if you aren't using calculated shipping to be able to opt out of selling to these places, because until we understand, the next best thing, I'm afraid, is to shut off shipping to these places. And if you're in the UK, this is a very, very big problem, because Northern Ireland is part of the UK. And we have to ship to the UK. You have to ship domestically when you're on Etsy. So, yeah, we haven't been able to separate out Northern Ireland. And also, a lot of people are arguing, is it including digital items or not? Etsy's going to give us a way to opt out of physical and digital items. This is good. I wish they'd done this a couple of years ago for a simple way to opt out of the countries like Germany with lucid regulations. Can't do words. More information in the FAQs. Secondhand and vintage items, please see below. In short, the guidance as it stands is if a product was placed in the EU Northern Ireland market, i.e. made available for the first time prior to the 13th of December, it doesn't need to meet GPSR requirements as long as it complies with prior EU safety legislations. There's been a lot of debate about this, whether this means if your listing was listed for the first time before the 13th of December, or if it had been in the EU, if it had already been sold somewhere in the EU. So Etsy and Folksy, for that matter, are reading it if you had put the item up for sale for physical items. I don't know, that I can't imagine that counts for made to measure, bespoke, personalized, or custom items. Anyway, Let's look at the FAQs to see if there's anything. I went over this whole document before they upgraded it in a past video. But does the GPSR, I never say it the right way, apply in the United Kingdom? Yes, the United Kingdom is not part of the European Union. So I know a lot of people who are not in the UK don't know all of this, because why would you know all of our crazy politics? But Northern Ireland is part of the UK, but it's still part of the EU, sort of. So this is where it becomes complicated. I don't want to tell people to stop shipping to the UK, but you kind of have to just now, I'm afraid, because there's no way to separate out. Etsy are telling us just now, if you get an order from the EU, Northern Ireland or whatever, to just cancel it. I don't believe this falls in with the regulations. I'm located in another market outside the EU. Does it apply? So Etsy's saying the GSPR may apply to you if you're a trader. As far as I can tell, it applies to all of us if we're selling, but we have to find out. By the way, I had a comment from someone on one of my past videos when I said it doesn't apply to gifts. As far as I understand, that doesn't mean you tick gift in your customs form and you sell stuff to people. Gift means if my mum happened to live in Northern Ireland and I'm personally sending her a present. That's what I mean by gift there. But yes, we expect more guidelines, and Etsy and myself will share it when we hear. So the EU might change the regulations for little eBay and Etsy sellers like ourselves. Probably not, though. We probably will count. What happens if we're not compliant? Etsy as a platform has responsibilities that the EU should be able to contact Etsy and say, "Hoi, Susan's item, not good," and Etsy will take it down. They can impose fines and things. I'm not sure how well that'll work if internationally, but I don't want to be the person testing this out. I don't want you to be the people testing this out. Let's let bigger companies get caught with this kind of thing. But Etsy have said that there's the possibility that they will also shut your shop, which is really not fair. Responsible person, you want to watch my previous videos about that. Are any products exempt? Now, the thing is, things like medical products for human or veterinary use or whatever, that sounds cool. It's like, oh, they're exempt if I sell that. That's because there's already stricter regulations. So yeah, antique and second hand. Yeah, just vintage things on Etsy doesn't count. An item has to be an antique, which is over 100 years old. I use production partners. For places like Printify, you want to read their articles. They are stepping up and helping you in this case. And yes, there's been some arguments. Does GPSR apply to digital items? As far as we can tell just now, yes. I sell multiple types of products and one type is exempt. How do I stay compliant? Yeah, with every individual listing. And here we go. Will Etsy's product update allow me to opt out of selling only certain listings in the EU and Northern Ireland? We'll be rolling out a shop manager feature that allows you to opt out of selling all of your shop listings to the EU and Northern Ireland. We feel confident the solution we're implementing will provide sellers a straightforward way to restrict sales. That's great. I'd love a bit more help for sellers, but anyway, they're doing something. Can I discontinue delivery to Northern Ireland? And this is what I say. They're saying, learn more about how to cancel orders. That's not the best. And digital items, again, they're saying the process for cancelling is here. But the thing is, if someone orders an automatic digital download, the sales already happened. They've got their item, so cancelling it, you've already broke the regulations. And yeah, here we go. Will Etsy shut down your shop? We will take appropriate action, which may include removing your listing or suspending your account. Cancelling doesn't hurt your customer stats. Will Etsy remove negative reviews left by these buyers? Hopefully, you won't get too many negative reviews, but bear in mind, people use cancelling as a way to try and avoid negative reviews. It doesn't. If the review window is open when you cancel an order, a customer still has a couple of days when they leave a review, but Etsy might consider it for removal. And yeah, here we go. Right, but anyway, that's the updates. There's no point going too in depth there. Basically, Etsy's doing something for us in February. It's a little late, but it'll be interesting to see what it is. And we're waiting for more guidelines from the EU for micro businesses. Anyway, right, if you're worried about setting your goals, if you're terrible at setting your goals, breaking your New Year's resolution, I have got a webinar. I hate using it. I've got a non-webinar, but I'm doing a live training for you on Wednesday, the 22nd of January. So there'll be a link in the description or somewhere here. Don't forget to come along and join in if you want help setting realistic goals that you're gonna stick to and totally understand why your last goals never worked. Join me on Wednesday. Anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.